So, what is your personal opinion about suicide?
Well, I think suicide is going around. A lot of teens, I think, should stop and to stop.
What do you think? What age is most common to commit suicide?
I would think around 14 to 18.
Oh, okay. What do you think are the leading causes of suicide?
Pressure, school, getting kicked out of groups.
Probably. Well, that's it. Thank you, Brandon. Okay, go.
How do you feel about suicide?
I think it's I have friends that died, I have graduates that died, so it's just all the situation.
What do you think are the main leading causes?
Depression, arguments, breakups, or no reason to feel addiction.
The people, even if they're not close to those people.
Well, it's been pretty hard, because like, when I Jesus or Matt died, not very people might not have known them, but I don't think it's the community.
Okay, thank you. Do you know any families who have dealt with suicide? Yeah. How do you think it affects families? Like, what's wrong with it? Like, I don't know how, like, families deal with that, you know? Like, it's not hard. It's what do you think about it? I think that you're never alone. You know, you always have someone there for you. If you know it or not, you know, you just have to look for it. And if you're going through the same thing, anyone is there for you. How do you think you can help prevent it? Well, first off, we need to stop this whole bullying shit, because, like, it pisses me off. And, like, you deserve to be treated like how everyone else deserves to be treated. Everyone has the right to be treated equally. That's like it. Thank you. Is that it?
Yeah. So, how do you personally feel about suicide?
It's not good, I would say. No, suicide. How do I feel about it? I feel that obviously it's a problem, like especially with young kids. Who was that kid from Vaughn? Jesus?
He was from Sparks.
Oh yeah, from Sparks. He went to Vaughn Middle School, right? Okay, so Jesus, I don't know what was going on in his life, but I think that a lot of times young kids, and I might have been here as well, where I didn't even go to that length to commit suicide, but when you're young and you have boyfriends and girlfriends, and your boyfriend and girlfriend breaks up with you, you think that's your whole life wrapped up in that. And they break up with you and you think that you're never going to find another boyfriend or girlfriend like that, especially young people, and they think that suicide and killing themselves is the only way out. And I was in a situation where I was young, my girlfriend cheated on me and went off, you know, with some other guy, and I said, oh my God, what was I do is kill myself, you know. My friends were like, oh, you can't do that. And I didn't really think about it, but you get so sad and upset. Do you think that's the way out a lot of times?
And what do you think are the leading causes of suicide?
The leading causes of suicide? Obviously, number one is depression. If you're depressed all the time and you don't think you could ever feel better, then why live? So, like, people kill themselves for that. Friends, people feel like they're lonely. They don't have any friends who they reach out to, or even if they did, they think nobody cares. So I think that leads to suicide. And I think family life. I think if your parents are beating you or molesting you or something really bad happening at home, it leads you down that path.
Yeah. Do you think drugs have anything to do with it?
Think what?
Drugs have anything to do with it?
I think drugs have everything to do with anything in life. When you're unhappy or upset, you're going to do drugs.
Yeah.
And with suicide, though, I think it gives you more courage. Like if you're doing drugs or alcohol, you're probably not thinking normally a lot of times. And so I think that leads to a higher rate of suicide. But it kind of goes along with depression, too. If you're depressed, you do drugs. Once you do drugs, then if you're thinking about suicide, you're more likely to kill yourself.
Right. Well, that's all.
Hi, this is Mary Covarrubias.
And Gabby around.
And we picked suicide as our project. The reason why we picked suicide is because we think it has been going around a lot where we live, and we made more close-up research, and we figured out that it wasn't only Reno or Nevada,
being affected.
Yeah, being affected by this. And we decided to interview some people. Some of these people really didn't want to get recorded, so we just recorded their voice with us asking the questions.
Some people didn't want to be recorded at all.
Yeah, so this was a hard subject for people to be asked about. And most of the answers were really common and most likely to be answered that way.
Some of the questions we asked were, what are the leading causes? A lot of people said depression and pressure, which are really some of the big ones. Also bullying, anything that can harm that person emotionally, even physically, can definitely lead to suicide.
Yeah, and we asked what age is the most common to commit suicide. Most of the people answered around teenagers.
Which is probably because the people they know who have committed suicide are teenagers or people close to them.
The reason why teenagers are the most common to commit suicide is because they have less enrolled mentality. I mean, like, they see this as a way out of things.
But they don't see it
Hurting people.
hurting other people around them. It's a permanent thing. Once you do it, it's done. There's no way to
come back, you know. And yeah, so it is a very difficult thing to go through because I've gone through it, family, friends, you know. And one of the ways we could prevent this is to reach out to people. If you're feeling like this, reach out to a friend, to family, to staff at school, to someone you trust. And if they don't help you out, it's because they're really not your friend. And I'm not trying to say this for you. Yeah, as like, oh, you know, she's not your friend, you know, go beat her up. No. But it's like, oh, if you are feeling like this and your friends are not there for you, they're obviously not your friends.
And
you know?
maybe they don't even know how it is. Maybe they're not going through the same situation. You need to find somebody who is, or who's gone through that, or who might be going through something similar to that. It's always easier to talk to someone that you have that same issue in common with. And it's better to talk to someone than hold it in and think, oh, nobody's here for me, because that could lead to suicide, and that's definitely a huge problem that we do not want to happen.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys get something out of the interviews and our presentation. Our objective is to get this video and this presentation out to people, and you know, let them see that suicide's not a way out. If you guys need to comment on this video, if you're feeling like this, go ahead. I will try my best to get back at you and give you advice, because I've been through there and I know how the feeling of just wanting to go away and get out of all these problems, but that's not a solution.
Everyone goes through that. It's just a phase, and you know, there's people that say, oh, well, kids are kids, it's just life. Well, it's not just life. You got to be there for them. And, you know, if they have an issue, reach out. If you see someone being bullied, step in. You might be, oh, well, I don't want to get bullied either, but how do you think that person feels being bullied? It's right.
Well, that is all for our presentation, and I hope you guys really reach out and get help.
And remember, life is good.
Bye.